And we are on the air here at Crawfish Warehouse. It's the WJLX County Coaches Show. James Phillips, and I am joined by Zach McCullough tonight. Zach filling in for Brian Hale, who is at a Nelly concert.
Yes, and I'm sure he may not be the most willing participant in that, but giving his wife a treat there. So, Brian, hope you have fun. I'm sure he's not listening to us, but
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt to say it.
He really didn't seem super happy about it, but I want to see him rapping country grammar. That's what I'm
I would like to see that too. I really would.
But Zach and I here tonight at Crawfish Warehouse got the County Coaches Show taking place. And, Zach, we got a great week of football ahead of us. Later on tonight on the David Reeves Show, we'll be talking about Jasper and Athens. That's going to be quite the matchup in Class 6A. Both teams coming in, and Jasper needs that. Jasper needs that win against the team that beat them last year.
Jasper does. They need it very well. Before we get into that, though, let's go into some scores from last week.
There we go.
Obviously, there's the game that you were at. Jasper beating Coleman 30-29. You're there. Tell me what that was like. I know it was a great win for the Vikings.
I mean, it's hard to explain that game because it was such a back-and-forth affair. I really felt like Jasper should have won by more than what they did, but they did the things and proved that they can face adversity, bounce back, make the plays when they needed to make them, and just an incredible atmosphere to be in. And it was a great game to call, and I'm just proud to be a Viking after that win.
And a great call on your part was listening to it on the radio when Lincoln Smothers scored the tying touchdown, and then Oliver Mosley's game-winning point after. Just a great job on your part.
I barely remember it. I think I went into some sort of fit or something. I don't know.
Well, that might have been why you were so good. So then the game I was at, it was our Walker County Game of the Week last week. Cordova beating Curry 41-14. Cordova just completely out-physical Curry, if that's a word, dominated, and it puts them in a really good place in that region, especially in a region where that fourth spot for the playoffs, with that win, it looks like Cordova might be in the driver's seat for it.
Yeah, definitely so. And, I think we had question marks going into that, which team would show up and be the most physical, and it definitely seems like the Blue Devils were the ones that came out and kind of flexed their muscle in that game on Friday.
And, folks, Coach Brian Maynor for Cordova will be on the air here in just a little bit, as well will be Tyden Ledbetter, their star fullback. Another game, really good win for the Carbon Hill Bulldogs, beating the Hanceville Bulldogs 62-41. High-scoring affair there. Congratulations to Coach DJ Emerson and his Carbon Hill team getting their first win of the season.
Well, and our player of the week this week was from Carbon Hill.
That's right. We will talk about him in a minute. Another game we had, unfortunate for your alma mater, Dora falls to Hamilton 42-0.
I think we're going to say that a lot this year. Unfortunate for my alma mater. They're really struggling, but they've got a game this week that we'll talk about shortly that's winnable. So hopefully that'll be the case.
A very surprising loss for the Oatman Wildcats as they fall to Phil Campbell 36-30. That hurts them in the region where they were thinking about, they had a chance to make the playoffs, and now really not looking likely. Of course, Oatman, all their losses have been by one possession. They could easily be 4-0 right now.
Definitely so. Wildcats just need to do whatever that takes to get that win, and maybe then the win is contagious.
We'll go over four scores from up north in the free state of Winston. Lynn beats Pickens County 34-25. Winston County falls to Red Bay 29-28. Meek beats Phillips 60-6, and Addison beats Cherokee 66-0. Anything stand out to you on that list?
No, it's Winston County. Whatever.
So now we're going to get into the players of the week. For Jasper, Oliver Mosley, the kicker with a game-winning point after touchdown. You saw him in person. Talk about him.
Well, as a freshman, it takes a lot just to be able to get in there and handle pressure situations like just kicking a regular extra point. But when it becomes, I'm kicking an extra point to win the game against the team that we hate more than anybody, that's a lot of pressure for a young guy.
That is.
And he's done an excellent job throughout each of the games this year. And in that game, kicked his first field goal of the season, connected on it, and also had a really key punt at one point during the game under pressure, was able to flip the field that could have been disastrous if he had not handled that well. So I think he did a great job. There were several guys for Jasper that could have been the player of the week, but it all came down to that toe. and
That's
he
right.
kicked it and won the game for him.
That's right. Kickers and all specialists really are very underappreciated, so glad that he is the player of the week. Our county player of the week, Mike Baker for Carbon Hill. Looking at his stats, 14 carries, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, also had a 2-point conversion, 3 tackles, 2 of which for loss, and a fumble recovery that he took 35 yards to the house in Carbon Hill's first win of the season.
Yeah, and he did just about everything, as you said there. So how would he not be the player of the week?
That's right. I mean, just a fantastic game for Mike Baker as his Bulldogs get their first win of the year. Let's go over this week's games. Our WJLX Jasper Vikings football. Athens taking the road trip to Cairo Gambrill Field to take on the Vikings. What are you thinking about this one?
You know, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be one of those games where either team can go. It's going to be who makes the least mistakes, who limits their penalties, limits turnovers, things like that cost you in a game. And both these teams are going to want it. Jasper definitely wants to bounce back from a loss to Athens last year. It's one of those 3 teams that they can get a little revenge for. And, you know, a win over Athens that puts you in your own kind of driver's seat there. You still got Muscle Shoals and Hartselle, but it really puts you in a nice place, undefeated, and then going into a rivalry game the next week.
Our Walker County game of the week, Hamilton on the road taking on Curry. This is a Hamilton team that's at the top of the region, a Curry team that saw their playoff chances take a big hit last week against Cordova. So the Yellow Jackets are going to try to pull off the upset. Of course, Hamilton, a really good football team. Fortunately for the Jackets, though, it's a home game, so they will have that added advantage. Cordova is going on the road to number 6, Good Hope, and what will be a pivotal game in that region if maybe Cordova can shake things up and upset the Red Raiders. Your alma mater, you mentioned this is their winnable game. They're going to Fultondale. Both teams 0-4. So there's a chance for the Bulldogs this week, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely a chance. These teams, I looked it up, and I've got to look it up again just to tell you. I've got it saved. The difference in points that these two teams have had. Dora's playing Fultondale. Dora has been outscored 33-180 so far this season.
Ooh.
Fultondale has been outscored 27-190.
That goes in the favor of the Bulldogs.
I mean,
a little bit.
slightly there, but that tells you both of these teams have really struggled mightily, and so it's a chance for one of them to get a little more healthy.
And both teams taking a step down. This was a Dora team that made the playoffs last year, a Fultondale team that would have, if not for some forfeits that they were forced to have after the season. They would have been 3rd in that region, instead wound up missing out on the playoffs. So an interesting game between two teams trying to get their seasons corrected. Oakman hosting Huntsville. This is a chance for the Wildcats, who are 1-3, to improve that record, taking on a Huntsville team that's allowing 68.5 points per game. That's a lot of points.
Well, and they just gave up 60-something to a Carbon Hill team that Oakman beat pretty handedly. I think Tyler Thomas will be running all over the field in this game.
He might have 6 touchdowns in the first half again this week. Carbon Hill, speaking of the Bulldogs, they're hosting Vinemont. Vinemont's 2-2, 2-0 in the region. Carbon Hill 1-3, 1-1 in the region. A chance for Carbon Hill to make some room in that region, trying to advance and put themselves in a position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe they've built a little momentum here.
We're going to look up into Winston County for a moment. A very big matchup. Number 6, Addison, going up to number 5, Hackleburg. Both teams undefeated. That's pretty much for the region there in Class 1A, because there's really nobody else in that region besides me, really, that can compete with these two teams.
Right. I think it could be either way, but, Addison seems to be really rolling, but they haven't really played any stiff competition. It's been pretty easy wins for the Bulldogs so far.
And we'll see if they will be able to get the win over pretty stiff competition in Hackleburg. Cold Springs making the road trip to Winston County in non-region play. Waterloo going to Meek in region play. And then Lynn picks up the forfeit win over Summoning Christian. That will make the Bears 3-2 and 2-0 in region play.
Yep, and now we can take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll have Coach Brian Maynor from Cordova and his talented fullback to talk to us about their upcoming game against Hamilton. And so we'll take a quick break here from Crawfish Warehouse, and we'll be right back on the Walker County Coaches Show. And we are back from Crawfish Warehouse, the Walker County Coaches Show. James Phillips and Zach McCullough. Zach, we've got our special guest with us for the County Coaches Show now. We've got head coach Brian Maynor of the Cordova Blue Devils, and then I'll let you guys introduce his player that's joined us as well.
We got Tyden Ledbetter. He plays fullback and linebacker for us. Did a great job last week. He has all season, and just appreciate his efforts.
Well, Coach, talk a little bit about your team so far this season, and then we'll get into last week's game and this week's game. But just season so far overall, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think we've played hard. We haven't played perfect by no means, but I think we're getting better every week. If we'll continue to work and have that team chemistry, hopefully we'll improve our record.
Yeah. What about the game against Curry? I mean, that had to be and you can speak to this too, but I mean, you guys had to be pumped for that just going into it. It's a region game, another county school, and then you come out and play as well as you did.
Well, our kids locked in all week. You know, we had homecomings, a lot of distractions, and but you know, throughout the week, you could tell that they were getting focused and preparing for a battle.
Yeah.
So we were proud of the outcome, and I was proud of the way that they played as a team. Proud of the coaches.
Well, I've always said that the sign of a great coach is that he can keep his players focused ahead of a homecoming, and you did just that. I was there. Fantastic performance by your team, especially by Tyden. I mean, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, also 13 tackles. Tyden, talk about what went into that performance.
Well, I mean, we was focused all week, our team, and I just want to thank O-linemen, other running backs, all the defense, everybody. Especially Chesley Harbison made a good block for me on 1 touchdown. So,
you know, he had a great game, but if an individual gets awarded, it's still a team. It's still about the team.
Yeah.
And Tyden's, he's living proof of that. He gives a lot back to the team, and that's just the way it is. You know, if I'd gotten an award before many years ago or whatever, hey, it's about somebody else helped me get there.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to preach in our program, just not in football, but in our whole athletic program, our school, and everything. It takes everybody working together.
Oh, yeah. Well, and especially in football, I mean, every play it takes the entire team working together. Everybody's got a job to do, and if one person doesn't do that job, everything breaks down.
That's right.
You know, and that's a great thing for kids his age to learn now, because the same thing happens when they go to work. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Can't let part of the machine break down.
Yeah, all of our teams are only as good as our weakest link sometimes.
Yep,
That's right.
Football's the ultimate team sport, and Cordova's got a heck of a team this year. It's very impressive. Now, Coach, I do want to ask you this. How do you keep your players focused, considering, if they look at the region, there's a clear shot to the playoffs. So how do you keep your team focused on the task ahead?
It's one game at a time, one play at a time. That's how you play it. You can't look at the scoreboard. Just play the way you're supposed to play with 100% intensity, focused on your assignment, and play as fast as you possibly can, as physical as you possibly can. Because my college coach used to tell me there's 3 things a football player can do. He can hit, he can hustle, and know what to do. That has nothing to do with talent.
Right. Yeah. Now, I guess it probably doesn't take a lot, though, to have to get them to focus when you got a team like Hamilton coming up on the schedule.
Good hope.
Well, good hope.
Good hope. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We better be focused.
Yeah.
They've got a good football team and experienced football team. Very good skill set. They haven't allowed many points.
But they've scored a lot.
They've scored a lot of points.
Yeah. Now, do they still
good combination?
Do they still put it in the air a good bit? I knew they had in the past, but
They're about 70% run.
Okay.
Good mix. And balance isn't being throwing the ball 50% of the time or running the 50% of the time. Balance is be able to throw it when you want to throw it.
Right. Yeah. What have you guys seen on film that you really need to key on this week? Maybe just for yourselves to make sure you guys are getting better.
I'd say the main thing I've been seeing on film is how the linemen blocks, the linebackers, how their team plays, how they block. About it.
Now, I know everybody talked about your yardage that you got last week and your touchdowns. But 13 tackles is a lot of tackles in a game too. What do you like better? You like offense or defense?
You know, I was always a defensive guy, but this year I think I'm an offensive guy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you're both guy.
Yeah, you're a both guy.
You
Yeah.
can do both.
Yeah.
Do
We
it
got
well.
we got to have both out of you, and that goes for we have a lot of kids go both ways, and,
Right.
and that's how we train them. Each kid has an offensive position and a defensive position, and that's how we do it. And at smaller schools, that's what you have to do.
Right. And
So-
Cordova's still, I mean, they've only been up in 4A for what? How many years now?
I couldn't tell you.
It hadn't been a super long time, and I mean that's been quite the transition for Cordova. To step up to
I
a
know
4A level.
At one time, they were 5A.
Yeah, and I knew they went to 5A
Yeah,
at
they
one
Got
point.
dropped down to 4A.
Yeah.
And that's a big transition.
Yeah, because when you were there
We're 3A.
back in the 90s, y'all were 3A.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a
Won
that's
a
a
state
huge jump.
championship.
That's a huge jump to go from 3A to 5A.
Yeah, it is. Just the speed of the game.
Yeah.
And the number of people that they can put out there that are playing, just one way, and then so it can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Coach, obviously 30 years ago you won a state championship at Cordova. Since you left after, I believe it was the 98 season or maybe 99.
I can't remember.
Since you've come back, though, what has impressed you most about the program?
Well, the community has always impressed me, and how hard everybody works. That's unbelievable. Our quarterback club and just the community, they do everything they can to help us out, and I think they do that with any of our programs. Our quarterback club is great, but we really have good facilities. And it takes those things to have a successful program. You got to have resources to be able to work your guys, and so that's very impressive.
Well, you talk about the community, and that's one thing that I've always been. I'm a Dora graduate, so I can't say anything too nice about Cordova.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing that's always impressed me with Cordova is their passion and how much they care about that Blue Devil program. I mean, it's they will do anything to make sure that they put a nice product out there and they take care of those boys. And that says a lot about just what type of community it is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you need something, and sometimes if you act like you want something, well, you're going to get it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you need? What can we do to help you?
Right.
And
you probably hardly ever have to ask. If you just say something in passing, it shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that's how they've always been.
Yeah.
Zach, what else you got for Coach?
I haven't anything more. We're about to run out of time. Coach, we really appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on the start so far, and hopefully the season will go as well the rest of it as it has so far.
Well, I appreciate y'all having us and what y'all do for our high school athletics. Thank
Hey,
y'all.
beat those. It's Raiders, right?
Red
Beat those
Raiders,
Ra-
yes,
Beat
Red
those Raiders this week. And I mean, it's getting to the point where I might just go ahead and pull for y'all against Dora later on.
Whoa.
Don't tell any of my classmates that.
They're probably all watching, though.
Well, y'all, good luck this week. We hope you guys pull out a win and keep rolling along. Good job, Coach.
Thanks. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
See, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
kicked out the
James is
door.
already getting heckled.
I'm getting yelled at
He's
already.
getting yelled at and heckled. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Well, all right, we'll take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with the Coach David Reeves Show when we return from Crawfish Warehouse.
We're still a bunch.
And we're back at Crawfish Warehouse. Now it's time for the Coach David Reeves Show. James Phillips joined by Coach David Reeves. And Coach Reeves, I'll let you introduce your assistant coach that you've got with us tonight.
Yeah, we brought Coach Logan Smothers, who coaches our quarterbacks, with us tonight, the son of Shane, the older brother of Lincoln and Ledger, who play for us right now. So he's got strong ties. You know, Logan played at Athens. Logan actually played with my youngest son at Athens.
Okay.
So Shane coached Major when Major was there, and Logan and Major played together until Logan transferred back to Muscle Shoals to finish out his career.
And you told me Logan, everybody probably already knows, is he played at Nebraska and also played at Jacksonville State.
Absolutely.
But the first offer that he got,
that's right,
was from what college?
Well, a little college called UAB, and I was the one that offered him, and man, he came down and did great, and unfortunately we didn't get him. You know, we couldn't win that over Nebraska. You know, and so.
But he completely snubbed you.
He did. He high-hatted me right there, and so.
And now he's having to work for you.
I like the way the tides have turned, but you know, no, we're lucky to have Logan. He brings a lot. He brings a wealth of knowledge from being such a high caliber player. You know, and our quarterbacks love him, our players love him, and we're fortunate to have Logan on our staff right now.
Well, I would hope your starting quarterback does love him at least. They may not like each other all the time.
I'm going to let him talk. I'll let him comment on that.
What is it like? I mean, and this is early in your coaching career. What's it like coming in, coaching with your dad, and then coaching your brothers?
Yeah, I mean, first off, it's pretty special. Not a lot of people get to play for a dad. You know, I got to play for a dad. Now I get to coach with them and coach two younger brothers, so that's pretty special.
Yeah. Now, do they automatically respect you like the other coaches, or are you having to do a little extra to make sure they do?
I would hope so. I think they do.
They do on the field for sure. Now they might treat him bad when they get out of sight at home, but they
know
have,
better.
Yeah.
Well, they probably know at this point they can be running if they're mean to you at any point. You know.
Yeah. So, you know, but Logan's come in. You know, I mean. One of the most polished young coaches that I've ever been around. I mean, he's got a super bright future in front of him, and we're lucky to have him.
And you're coaching quarterbacks. Quarterback play has been pretty strong so far. What can you say about the way that your brother and also backup E.J. Oliver has been?
Yeah, I think they've been playing really good. Big thing is we've been taking care of the ball. You know, on offense, you can't score if you don't have the ball, and we've been doing a good job taking care of it. And they do a good job just managing the game. You know, they've got weapons around them. They do a good job getting the ball to them, and I'm pretty satisfied with how they played so far.
Last week.
Well, and let me tell you. No, I just want to tell you too. I mean, the work he's even done with Camelo Hudson, the ninth grade quarterback, has been phenomenal. I mean, you can tell there's a guy that knows what he does. Their eyes are always in the right place. Their ball handling's the way it's supposed to be. Logan's a detail-oriented guy that's really getting those guys ready.
Last week, that Coleman game, it's going to be hard to forget for a while. That was quite the game.
Yeah.
What can you say, Coach?
Well, you know, I was so proud of our players. You know, there were a bunch of opportunities to turn it down in that game. You know, a bunch of opportunities to, you know, start pointing fingers and a bunch of opportunities just to tank it right there. And I thought our guys did a phenomenal job at playing through a bunch of adversity. I thought our coaches have done a great job, and it showed. You know, that wasn't a 1 week practice deal. That's the way our guys have coached them since this thing started. And you know, just to watch our guys respond. You know, if you go all through the game, I mean, you know, when something bad happens on offense, nobody ever drops their head. The defense is running by them saying, "We got this," and the offense is saying, "Man, y'all go get it." And then same thing, giving up the late score there. You know, I mean, nobody dropped their head. Nobody doubted. Those guys were saying, "Hey, we got this," you know, and just in a really good mind space. We were lucky to take it down and get out of Coleman with the win. But again, just so proud of our kids and coaches for the way they responded in that situation.
Well, and it's one of those situations where with things that have happened in the past, even thinking about last year,
yeah,
they could have easily said, oh boy, here it goes again.
Yeah,
and they didn't.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, 3 games decided by 4 points over the last 3 years. And you know, couple of real classics. I mean, that's what you expect when you play a Coleman team. That's what we expected all week, and fortunately we came out on top.
Well, and your brother, while he's been playing on fire, there were a few times in that game where he may have missed some guys, or but what can you say about how he continued to fight?
Yeah, I mean, you're not always going to make the play. You're going to have some bad throws here and there, have the wrong read. But I was proud of the way he responded. He didn't let it faze him, make a couple mistakes, but, he moved on to the next play and found a way to win.
How nervous was everybody that it was a freshman kicker about to kick that extra point?
Not at all. I mean, he comes in, he's one of the hardest working players we got. That's going to be the first of many for him. And you know what? He's going to miss sometimes. I mean, nobody in this game is perfect, but he gives great effort every day, and it couldn't happen to a nicer young man than Oliver Mosley.
Yeah, Oliver was our Jasper Player of the Week this week, and he I feel like he's done a great job throughout the season already as a young guy.
Absolutely, and right there at the end, all we do is look at the kick, but I'll tell you what, it was a great snap by Grant. It was a great hold by Link. I mean, the guys knew they were coming and stood in there and died a slow death, and taking on and protecting that thing, and it wasn't even close. I was really proud, but I was on the sideline telling guys, get ready, we're going to have to play again. I didn't even have to watch. I had that kind of confidence in him.
Now, how do you forget about that game now or get them to?
Well, we're not where we need to be, but our guys have matured a great deal. And to be honest, we came in on Sunday for voluntary stuff, and we looked at the tape and we put it behind us and we moved on because we understand the challenge that's coming this week. On our schedule, when you have the Decaturs and the Colemans and the Hartzels and the Muscle Shoals and now this week the Athens and all those guys. I mean, I can go down the whole schedule, but you don't have time to feel good about this one or feel bad about this one. You got to learn from it and move on. Right.
Well, we'll take a quick break right now here on the Coach David Reeves Show, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the game this Friday night against Athens High School and what a big one it's going to be at Cairo Gambrell Field. We'll be right back from Crawfish Warehouse on the Coach David Reeves Show. All right, and we are back here at Crawfish Warehouse. It's the Coach David Reeves Show. Coach Reeves, now we've got Athens coming up, and I was joking with you a few minutes ago that somebody told me they thought that you were the mayor of Athens, or at least your family kind of runs the town, right? There's been a Reeves involved at Athens High School for years and years.
I'm actually probably the honorary throw under the jail guy at Athens, but no, I've got a lot of really good friends there. It's a really neat game. It's going to be a super fun environment. Cody Gross and I coached together at Athens. When I was at Athens, obviously Logan's dad coached at Athens. Logan played at Athens. Both of my boys played and graduated from Athens, and so there's a lot of ties that we have, and I like those kind of games, where guys and but our work's going to be cut out for us. I mean, offensively, they made a move 2 weeks ago, to bring another quarterback in. He's a very athletic, talented guy. They already had a stable of running backs. That's going to be a real challenge for us to get them on the ground. They've got a bunch of size at receiver and speed as well. They've got a tight end that's a very athletic, big, tall target. And then up front, they're typical Athens. I mean, just big and physical, and they've got a good understanding of what they're trying to do. So it's going to be a huge challenge. I've got a lot of respect for their coaches. I know not just the head coach. I know a lot of their coaches. I coached some of their coaches when I was at Athens, and so I know they're going to bring them in and they're going to be ready to go. And so we're going to have to be ready. They're coming off an open week, and so we got to be ready to go.
Well, and I would think it's not going to be too hard to get your guys ready to go because they beat you guys last year.
Yeah, they beat us pretty sound. I mean, we were coming out of that Coleman game, when it was just a perfect storm. Athens had a super team. We were still licking our wounds, feeling a little sorry for ourselves. And
y'all were probably still trying to dry out from last year's Coleman game.
Yeah, that was the hurricane game, I know. But we rolled in there, and their guys were ready to go, and we weren't. And, that's what happens when you play a good team and you're not ready to go. And so it's going to, our motivation is not what happened last year. Our motivation is this and next game on our schedule, so we've got to be ready to go.
Right. What do you see as far as their defense goes?
Yeah, like Coach said, first off, they're very physical. Coach Gross, they pride themselves on being physical and playing hard, and you can tell watching film that they do that. They're good up front. They got some size. That'll be a good challenge for our guys. And then the back end, they're athletic. They make plays. They fly around. So overall, it's going to be a good challenge for us. Show what we're about.
And offensively, they do have they got just a running back stable, as you said. There's 3 or 4 guys that can just burn you.
They can, and I'll tell you, you're going to get introduced tomorrow night to the guy that they just moved to quarterback, number 11, Unger. They're basically in Wildcat, but he can throw it too. But he's a phenomenal, talented running back. I want to say he's a state championship wrestler, so he's a tough, hard-nosed kid. When he gets behind that big offensive line and you key on him and they've got backs that can hurt you or a lot of receivers that can hurt you. And if you key on them, man, he is dangerous. I mean, I think he went for 230 maybe against Coleman, in his debut. I mean, he maybe player of the week up there in one of those North Alabama news stations. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. And like I said, it's more than just talent. Their coaching staff does a great job at getting them ready. They're going to have a good plan. They coach them hard. They have high expectations there, just like we do here at Jasper.
I looked up the history of the two teams playing each other, and it's been 9 meetings overall, and Jasper has 6 wins. I was kind of surprised that Jasper was 6-3.
Yeah, a lot of that goes back to the old TVC conference from way back in the day, man. That was a phenomenal conference. I mean, that was really good football back then, and so bunch of good teams, bunch of good tradition on both sides. We're just going to go out there and try and lay it all out there, and that's all we ask. Logan will tell you the same thing. If we're going to play as hard as we can play, and if we do that, then we'll look up on the scoreboard, and we'll feel good with whatever it is.
Well, and it seems like just the schedule is progressing, and it's almost like it's moving forward, and difficulty gets more. It's just every week.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's no rest. There's no rest in our region, and I like it that way, and I'm sure Logan will say the same thing about our region. I mean, I like when you've got to go out every week and play. I mean, it's a great lesson for our kids that there's no time off, there's no relaxation. You got to put one behind you and go on to the next one. So, Coach Smothers, you got anything you want to add to that?
I think our guys know it doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter if it's a rivalry game, region game. It's the next opponent.
And do you think it was good to to have that game last week with adversity after kind of, smooth sailing the first few, to have a game with some adversity and be able to bounce back. Is that ever a good thing?
Oh, no doubt. It's good to see how we respond to that, first of all. Whether we're scoring 100 points a game or they're scoring 100 points a game, we got to score 101. So it shows what we're about.
Yeah.
You always want now I would disagree. I don't know if those others, they looked on the outside.
Right, yeah, I mean, there was some.
Like they were, oh, man, but there was a lot of work and a lot of things that went into making that happen. That's something we stressed to our kids. It's the same stuff that it took week 1 that it's going to take right now week 5. It's the same practice. It's the same, it's the same stuff. We're not asking you to be superhuman or do something that we don't expect. We just ask you to play up to our standard. I mean, get into a good physical game that comes down to the wire. There are a bunch of questions answered in all 3 phases of our football team, that let them know, hey, we can do this, and so there is a sense of confidence that we can do it, and we're just trying to stay focused on what it took, on the details that it took to give yourself a chance to win a big football game.
Well, I think the thing that Woody and I have enjoyed about watching the team so far is that it seems like they are doing what they have to do to get better each week, because none of the games have been perfect.
Right.
But they do seem to be working hard to get there.
Well, it's always it's always a work in progress. I mean, and as long as your guys buy into that and say, hey, we got to get better, then and with the coaches that we have, always challenging our guys, always pushing them. To be more than even they think they can be, then you are still moving forward. And as long as we're doing that, we'll look up at the scoreboard at the end and we'll feel good about it no matter what happens.
Now, one thing I do notice about these two teams, Athens and Jasper, is that just roster size, Athens got a bunch of kids on their team.
Well, Athens did, Decatur did, Coleman did. I mean, but we're okay with that. I'm never going to be happy with the number of players that we have out, just because I think that every kid would benefit from being around our coaching staff on a daily basis and the lessons that come along with that, and then being around the kids that we have in our locker room. And so I'm always going to say, man, I want more, man, I want more, man, I want more. But I'm happy, with the ones we got. I wouldn't trade them for anybody. I wouldn't trade our 65 for the 100 at this school or the 100 at that school.
Yeah.
We love our guys and believe in our guys and have great confidence in our guys.
Well, I mentioned Woody earlier, and every week he puts together for us a packet of information, and it's usually about 10 or 11 pages. And this week he put a little note on it for me, and he said, I condensed this roster from 7 printed out pages and wrote it into one and put some tape on it so it would be 1 page.
Yeah, he gave me a hard time when I handed him that stuff on Wednesday because he was like, what is all this? And I'm like, well, that's the roster.
Right.
Well, you ask for a roster every week, and so there it is. But, Athens always been that way. I mean, they're a big 6A school in a place where football is really, really important, and so we want more at Jasper, but again, it's not because we don't like the ones we got or love the ones we got, just because I think it would benefit kids from being around our players and our coaches.
Right. Now, you talk about the football culture in Athens, and we've got a pretty good football culture in Jasper. How important is it for the community to show up tomorrow night at Cairo?
Yeah, I'm going to brag on our fans that made the trip down to Coleman last week. Boy, the energy they provided. Our students were absolutely amazing right there at the end, and the energy they gave to our kids. Athens is going to travel well, but I've got all the faith in the world in the people of Jasper that'll come out there and fill that up and get behind our Vikings.
Yeah, I've been really proud at the last 2 weeks. We had more people than Decatur at the Decatur game.
Yeah.
And then last week, that visitor side was completely
full, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so such a good deal. I mean, Logan can talk a little bit about playing in front of those crowds.
It helps a lot having people there, having energy, just looking up and knowing that you got a lot of people watching you. I think that helps our guys. So we definitely want everybody to come show up and show out for us.
And I tell you, the people that really, as well as the fans last week, the band, they were so loud in key moments. When Coleman had the football, our band was like loud. And I thought that was cool. And the cheerleaders, they're into it.
Yeah, they are.
I heard the story of one cheerleader that was yelling at a referee, and she almost got kicked off the sideline.
Well, I hope she doesn't do that too much. I was probably doing enough of that for both of us. But you know, it is. It's a village thing. It takes everybody. It takes the band. It takes the cheerleaders. It obviously takes the players and coaches. But it takes all the fans up there and all the energy that they bring. I mean, doesn't look like it, but our kids really sense that. And it's good knowing somebody's got your back, up there in tight situations and big games. And so we hope everybody comes out and shows out.
Logan, anything else you got to say before we go?
Thank y'all for having me.
Well, thank you for coming in. You've done a good job. I'll say you're one of the best that he's brought with him, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
just as good as last week's, and I wasn't here last week. So. Coach, anything else you got?
No, I mean just come out and support the Vikings tomorrow night, and we look forward to great weather and a great situation, a great atmosphere, a great high school football game. Go Vikes.
Go Vikes. Everybody get out to Cairo Gambrell Field, and then be back here next week for the Coach David Reeves Show. Come out. It's a great atmosphere and incredible food at Crawfish Warehouse. Coach already said he's got his to-go order placed and ready to go.
I got it up there. They should be getting it finished as we get up there.
I think mine's sitting at the table waiting on me, so I'm ready to go.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. We'll see everybody next week on the Coach David Reeves Show. Go Vikes.
Go Vikes.
And we're back on WJLX. James Phillips, and now I'm joined by Jonathan Timmons. Jonathan, you did a great job of setting up for us tonight.
Yeah, did you see that? My hand was all cockeyed. I was not ready to go.
I wasn't ready to go either.
I thought we had bought ourselves some more time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hit enough spots there.
We got to put more spots in. Hey, that means we're looking for sponsors for the
That's
Coach
right.
Reeves Show, Coach Walker County Coaches Show here at Crawfish Warehouse every Thursday night for how many weeks we got ahead of us still?
I mean, we're right at halfway through after tonight.
Man.
Regular season. I mean, but there's playoffs.
You're right.
You know,
Tomorrow night is the halfway mark, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Week 5.
Week 5, and man, it's been a fun run so far.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm really having fun at these Thursday night coaches shows. This has been, I think, the best night so far.
Yeah, and we talked about on the before we went on the air that the turnout keeps growing each week, and that's what we kind of expected each week, that it'll grow. And it was a really good turnout tonight. Everybody seemed to have a good time.
Do you have your headset on backwards, or do I have mine on headset on backwards?
I always do my headset with the mic from the left. You look like you have yours on backwards. I don't think it matters, though.
It does.
Does it?
Feels wrong.
Well, I mean, if it feels wrong to you, you have it on backwards. Because I feel right. I feel good.
I can't fix it right now.
Anything else you got for this week?
So tomorrow, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll finally get to join y'all back on the call again, or
Yeah,
I'll probably be in more of the support role again. But
been a little bit of a week. You just missed last week.
just missed last week. Yep.
But we had a good time in Coleman. And
What a game.
Yeah, you picked a great one to miss, right?
What a game. Well, it was Foothills Festival, so we were busy, but caught those last 5 minutes. And I had you guys on the app the entire time. Had my earbuds in as I'm running back and forth from behind the stage to in front of the stage.
Yeah.
I think this was about the end of Blind Melon.
Yeah. No. Blind Melon's on Saturday.
You're right. So
right before Diamond Rio.
Yeah, right before Diamond Rio. End of Band of Heathens.
Yeah, Band of Heathens.
I come running back anyway, so, and I'm listening, and I'm like, and before I even get to say anything to anybody, my mom's got it on her phone, right?
Right, yeah.
And the stream was matched up with the audio, so we just glued in right there. And
when I heard everybody downtown was watching in different areas, they were watching the game and listeing to the call, and the downtown went crazy.
It was awesome
when
dude.
Jasper scored at the end.
It was such a cool experience, and like I said when we were sitting here a week ago, you can't call it before they play the game.
That's true.
And you and Woody, no, you weren't here.
No, I wasn't here.
No, it was
Woody and Hale.
And Hale had pretty much called the final score before the game was played. And man,
in that Coleman game, I'll never do it. It didn't matter. You throw the records out.
Right.
I know that's a cliche, but it's really true in the Jasper Coleman game.
What a great rival we have.
It is, yeah.
And we're lucky to have that here.
And I have to admit, really last week I was kind of glad I wasn't here because I was just going to tear into Coleman. And they were so nice to us.
Right. So how did that go?
It went really well. Everybody at Coleman, they treated us just like kings.
What was Coach Hunter?
Yes.
Up there at Coleman and all the Coleman crew, support staff, administration. Thank you all so much. On behalf of WGLX, that was awesome. What they did and the very kind words they had for our late friend Brett Elmore and also
Coach Sasser as well.
Coach John Sasser, right?
And I want to thank everybody for coming by at Foothills. I was there Saturday night, and we had a lot of people just walking by to be able to say hey and yell at us and stuff like that. We were right behind the stage, and
it was a great call that you had. You had a great call, and you got a lot of love for it.
Yeah. It made me feel good. It made me feel like I did something right.
We were watching it in the studio yesterday.
Laughing about it.
So fun, man. Yeah. It was so fun to watch back. So hopefully keep the momentum going, and man, let's keep this going for another 5, 6, 7 weeks.
That's right. Let's see.
How long are the playoffs?
4 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go another 9 weeks then.
Or 5 weeks actually. 5 weeks.
And we can't broadcast after a certain point, right?
Yeah, I think it's just after the 4th week. We can go to the semifinals.
Oh, nice.
But we wouldn't be able to broadcast the final game.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice to know I'm not putting the cart before the horse there, just wanting to know if.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Reeves is going to like even
case.
hearing that you're thinking about that.
I'm learning, Coach. I need to be prepared. I need to be ready just in case.
And the thing is, we can't wait till the last minute
itself. Right, because we don't even get a chance.
We don't have much time because it'll get past us.
SAA, you guys are great.
Yeah, that can be great sometimes. Almost as fun as hanging out in Winston County over the weekend.
Oh, love you.
Sorry.
Who's Winston County got this weekend?
Cold Springs, but
the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. Do we? One day we'll talk about Winston County and Curry.
One day.
We'll talk about that one day in the next few weeks.
Anything else?
No. Just appreciate everybody again for coming out. Come to Crawfish Warehouse. You don't have to come out on Thursday. Come all weekend. They've always got something cool going on here. Always a ton of people. Man, they love motorcycles too. They got motorcycle parking over here.
Yeah, and every night's bike night.
Yeah.
And they were slammed all weekend long for Foothills too. I was so happy to see that, and as well as many of our great sponsors around here.
Oh yeah.
And it's such a great weekend for local businesses, for local music, for local radio.
Yeah. Hey, and this weekend Alabama's off. So it's football on Friday night, and then, hey, I got a wrestling show on Saturday at Swan Gym in Jasper.
Oh, nice.
Come check out New Era Wrestling at Swan Gym. It's going to be fun. 7:30 bell time.
Might be my first opportunity to get to.
Oh, yeah, you need to swing by.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
I'll try to make sure you don't get injured or anything.
Set it up. Need a backstage pass.
There you go.
Media.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next week for the Walker County Coaches Show and the Coach David Reeves Show. For Jonathan Timmons, I'm James Phillips.
Thank you, Zach McCullough.
That's right, Zach McCullough. Great job, and Scott for hanging out with us too. All right, till next week. We'll see you.